Hello. Yeah, Tyson can stay there. Hi, my friends. Okay, I'm plugging in my embossing tool because we're gonna do some embossing today. Yay! Who's excited? Okay, let me find the stamp set that we're using. Okay, so I'm sharing a card with you guys today that is not my. Okay, it's only like semi-quasi my design. Let's tell you guys a funny story. So it was my daughter's birthday this past week, and we celebrated with her friends on Saturday. So my brother came out to join in the festivities and have some fun, but when he came out, he realized he didn't have a card, and what better way to spend time with your sister and celebrate your niece than to create a birthday card, right? So the card that I'm sharing with you today was kind of like a collaboration of my brother and I making a birthday card for his niece, my daughter. So that's what I'm sharing today. And it's actually it's a really pretty card. Like it, I shouldn't say it's actually, it is a nice card. And yeah. Okay, 1 second. Let me just share this. You guys know how much I struggle with this. More options. Share. No. Hold on. I always forget how to do this. I feel like I get it and then I forget how to do it. Okay, hold on. That's me. Share, embed, more options. Okay. Tuesday tutorial. Okay. Perfect. Okay, we've got that going over there. So like I said, we're doing some heat embossing. And I hope you guys like the card because we had fun. It was fun. Okay. Let me pull out. This is the stamp set we're using. We're going to use the Let's Celebrate You sentiment right here. So I'm just going to pull this out here. Like that. Okay, and then let me grab my clear block so we can mount it here. Okay. Okay, so I have just like a piece of plain white paper. I do find it helpful to have a piece of just like plain regular. This is regular paper. It's just from the printer. There's nothing fancy about it, but I do find that to be really helpful for when you're heat embossing. Yeah. I'll show you that in 2 seconds. Okay, so this is just a piece of regular black cardstock. We're gonna go ahead and use that. And let me grab one more piece of paper that I know I'm gonna need. Okay, we're gonna do that. And I'm gonna do this. Okay, so let's start with the heat embossing because that would be the best way to start. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the Let's Celebrate You. This is Versamark. This is just the watermark stamp pad. You can use this stamp pad without doing any heat embossing, and it just leaves a watermark image, just a really faint image. It's almost like tone on tone. This is just a Stampin' White embossing powder and our heat tool. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, hold on, let me figure out. Okay. So I'm going to take the Versamark with my stamp and I'm just going to ink it up just like regular. There's nothing like different or special about this part. And then I'm just going to stamp it right here. Straight up. And you can see there's no, it's like invisible ink, right? If we were to let it dry, it would actually absorb into this paper and you'd be able to see it reflect just a little bit more. I hope you guys can see that on camera. But what we're going to do is we're gonna put some white embossing powder on it, just like that. You do want to work a little bit quickly. Okay, and then I'm just going to shake it to make sure it gets all over the sentiment. Flick it a little bit to get some of this excess. Right, and I'm trying to be really careful not to like actually touch the image, because the powder will come loose and fall off, but I just want to get a lot of this excess powder kind of away. Okay. Flick it a little bit more. And this is where having this white piece of regular scrap paper is really handy, is I just collect it right here. You saw I folded it in half before I did it. I collect it right in here, and then I can pour this back in my embossing jar. And now I have, just minimizes kind of like the waste, I guess. Okay, so that's that. Flick it just a little bit more. Okay, and then I'm gonna use the heat tool. So I have it on the highest setting. It's gonna take just like 30 seconds to really heat up. And then I'm gonna hold it over the paper. I am gonna move it a little bit because I don't want it to start burning the paper. It does get really, really hot. And so I'm just gonna hold it right over this until it starts melting that embossing powder. Can you guys see that? It just turns like a solid white. So it's melting it to make it all one clean, in our case it's a font, but it could be like an image. And just a little bit more for good measure, and done. Woohoo! Okay, so that is all of the heat embossing, okay? So this is just a piece of regular Whisper White cardstock. I'm going to take my paper trimmer and I'm going to cut this to 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, like that. And this is going to be our insert. I'm not going to do anything to this paper for the insert. I'm just going to leave it like it is, okay? Oh, I'm not done with the paper trimmer. Okay. So I'm going to take some of, this is DSP from the Hallows Night. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to cut it at 4 inches here and 5 1/4 inches here. Okay. And then I have a piece of, this is just like scrap melon mambo, and I'm going to cut this 2 1/2 inches like this. You can see this is scrap because I tried to run this through the printer, and my printer isn't made to, this is like heavier than regular paper, and so my printer left like these weird, I don't know, ink lines, I guess. Okay, and then so 5, and this time I'm going to cut down to 5 inches instead of 5 1/4. And the darker blade is the one that cuts. So, okay, so we're doing that. And I think that's all the cutting, at least all the cutting on camera. Okay. Oh, I will say really quick that this stamp, I will not clean this with my chamois. I will actually take this under the sink with a little bit of warm water and dish soap to get that Versamark ink off. The ink is different than our regular Stampin' ink. Our regular ink is water-based, but Versamark is not. It has like kind of this tacky, I don't know, it's just a different type of based ink. So definitely wash that under warm water and a little bit of dish soap. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I have, this is a piece of Night and Navy cardstock that I've cut in half for my card base. So I'm just going to fold it over to create my card base right here. Okay, and then this will go right on top here. We're not going to adhere that yet though. I'm going to get the cut and emboss machine, and we're going to do some dry embossing and some die cutting. Okay. So here's the cut and emboss. So folding that over here. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this Dainty Diamonds embossing folder. So So for the Dainty Diamonds embossing folder, you just need plate 1. I'm going to take this Melon Mambo and I'm going to line it up right in here. And then I'm taking plate 4, which is like the darker cutting plate. And I'm going to run this through. And this is dry embossing, which is different from heat embossing because we just use our embossing machine and not the heat tool. So we get this really pretty Dainty Diamonds texture. I love it. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then we're going to do some die cutting. I'm going to use this Stitch Labels dies. I'm going to use this size, and then I'm going to use just one die smaller than that. So they're going to kind of nest into each other. Not kind of nest into each other. They are going to nest into each other because that's what they're designed to do. Okay, so first I'm going to take this basic black that we've heat embossed on, and I'm going to take the smaller, and I'm going to center that up. I'm going to grab myself some washi because the heat emboss does leave, like, it kind of warps the paper a little bit because that heat gets on it. So I'm just gonna kind of center this up here, and then I'm gonna use a little bit of washi to hold that die in place. You could use the metal cutting plate, but I don't have that out today, so we're just gonna use regular washi. Okay. And then I'm going to cut both of these at once, save ourselves a little bit of time here. Okay, and then I'm just going to roll this through. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's a little bit harder for me because I have not completely transitioned over to all the new dies. So they're just a little bit thicker, which is a-okay. It still works. Okay. So let me close this and put this away. Hey, you guys, I hear Archie crying. I know Tyson's right here under me. Sorry, guys. I know my kids are home. Okay, so this is the Whisper White from that that thicker, that bigger die cut piece. Okay, and this is the basic black. So they're just gonna nest right into each other just like that. Okay, I'm going to grab myself some dimensionals really quick and some ribbon. Okay. Using my adhesive, I'm going to flip this black piece over, and I'm just going to run some adhesive on the back like that. Okay, and putting that there. I'm going to go ahead and flip it over, and I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of here. Okay, and I'm not going to take the backs off just yet because we're not ready for that. I'm going to take this Melon Mambo, and I'm going to run some adhesive on the back of this. You guys, I'm going to have to share a picture of my brother making the card. It was the most precious thing for me. I'm the older, so it's always fun to have like my little brother be into the things I'm into, right? Okay, so I'm kind of creating like a faux border. Well, I mean, it's a real border, but it's not all the way like it usually is. So, okay, so I'm taking this, I'm gonna cut it so that there's some overhang on both sides. Just kidding, let me get my snips, I'm not sure. Oh, they're over here, I left them on my other table. Okay. Okay, yep. All right, here we go. Okay, so measuring this again, so there's a little bit of overhang on either side of this DSP. And I'm gonna get myself just 2 pieces of regular tape. Let me still some room here. Okay, and then I'm just gonna line this ribbon up to right to the top of that Melon Mambo, just like that. Okay, I'm gonna line it up there. I'm gonna fold it over. Fold it over, put this here. Fold this over there. Okay, like that. See, it looks like I tied it all the way around, but I didn't tie it around. Okay. Adhesive, I'm gonna do adhesive top, bottom, and down the middle. A little bit more. You know, I'm actually gonna do it on the sides also because I know that ribbon is giving this paper just a little bit of texture. Okay, so this flips over like this, and then this one is gonna go, I'm actually gonna turn it around. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but okay. So this like that, and I'm gonna line this up right here. Just like that. Doesn't that look so good already? Okay, I think that this piece was supposed to be just a little bit thinner, maybe 2 inches, not 2.5, but it doesn't matter. It's still gonna look fabulous. Okay, so I'm taking the backs off right there. Okay, and I'm gonna line this up. Line it up right here. Okay, there we go. Isn't that so fun? Super simple, but a really cute design. Okay, like that. And then the last thing that I need is that insert that we cut, which I left right here. So because this is really dark inside, we're just gonna put this on the inside so that you can, right, okay, now this has like a little imperfection right here, so I wanna make sure this goes in the back. It's really convenient that every piece of paper has an emergency side. So if there's something like that on one side of your paper, just flip it over, use the other side. I always find that to be really helpful. I call it my emergency side. Sometimes you really need that emergency side. Okay, there you go. Here's today's card. And then just for the sake of keeping it really simple, we're not going to do anything to the envelope, just a really simple, clean white envelope. So I think this is a really great like card for someone like my brother who has never stamped before but wants to do something that's handmade. And I love that the dry or the heat embossing kind of gives that like level of like, I'm a professional, I did something great. Okay, so I just wanted to share this card with you guys. Thank you so much for watching today on Tuesday's tutorial. I will be back here Thursday with another fun tutorial, and I can't wait to see you. I hope you have a great week until then. Thanks for watching. Bye.